Just a quick stop off at Bunnings to grab 6 bags of premixed concrete, 5 bags of blue metal, so that your 11 can build sturdy concrete pads for the structure that we're going to put the IBC totes on. Now I'll just do a dry pour mix. This is something that I'm going to have fun experimenting with. Just using a dry pour so they can level out the little forms, fill it with the concrete, pack it down, and then just spray it to get it to set. It also means that we can do them bit by bit if we need to, so we're not trying to mix and use a whole stack of concrete in one go or anything like that. Might even get them to do like maybe some dry pour and some wet mix and see, they can see the difference. Even though it's not technically part of the course anymore, it wouldn't hurt them just to do something like that, because it'd only be one lesson to do the actual mixing or anything like that. 220 kilos in the back of the truck. Kids can unload it this morning. And the weather's beautiful. I was worried because it got really rainy last night and I wasn't sure what it was going to be like this morning. Good day for it. Moved the IBC totes and the students are digging for foundation. We're going to put in gravel and concrete footings for a new stand that I've designed using sleepers. Hopefully they'll get that started soon. They did pretty well getting these footings dug out, and we'll see how they go. Weather's nice. My wife asked if I'd do some more of the fence panels. It's been forever since you've done the first 3, and I went, yeah, 8 weeks. And one of the reasons was because I had no sand gravel mix. So I've just come and got, I think it was half a ton, 47.50. Not bad. I've already got cement bags, so it was just the sand gravel that I didn't have that was stopping me from doing anything, really. But now that I've got it, I can just park the trailer, mix my cement, batch by batch as I need it. If I can get a couple to a few more panels done over the weekend while the weather's nice. It's a pretty mild day. It's only like 16 degrees. It's meant to be the same tomorrow. It's sunny, but it's cool, so it's kind of good weather to be out in the yard. I do have more reading and stuff to do for uni because I'm into the 3rd module. That ends in a week's time. The DP that I was sitting in for in term 2, is going out again. So I'll be relieving for her in the last week and then the first 4 weeks back while she's recovering. Year 12 will be finished, so I'll only have to worry about year 10 and 11, and I might be able to still teach those 2 classes because I gave 10 away last time and just concentrated on the seniors. This time I've only got the year 11 and the year 10. I think I'd like to try and hang on to the 10s because they're starting their major project. Bit of a busted situation just there. I did some Googling this morning for Bunnings for the brackets that we use for the fence. They're not the cheapest method, but since I've started and I just wanted to get these fence panels put in today, I needed at least 2 more brackets. Googled, Valley Heights did not have them. Katoomba did have them. It said low stock though, and Penrith said they had them. I'll come to Katoomba, it's a little closer, and it turns out their low stock was zip. I won't call it a total bust because they did have some clearance stuff out. Biscuit joiner blade, that was being clearanced out for $8, so I'll take that. And I got some drill bits for drilling into the fence posts. For this side of the yard, we did a bit more shopping around and we found the place that sold 50 by 50 posts that was steel and had a cap on the top. The other side we used 50 by 50 aluminium, and they were expensive, but that's what we thought we'd use at the time. They all came. Yeah, the fence on one side of the yard is very expensive. The fence on the other side of the yard, slightly less so because we bought the steel posts. We didn't go the cheapest method here, but it would have been nice, being that we're in a fire zone, to have been able to put up a steel fence for privacy. The neighbour on one side wouldn't have a bar of it. The neighbour on the other side was not interested either, the old neighbour. My wife just said, I want something nice. Timber fencing just for the look for the mountains. Looks a bit nicer. Just because a police car's coming along doesn't mean you have to slow down below the speed limit. Speed limit's 80 along here. And now because people have spotted this police car, they've slowed down to 60. I need to get into the other lane. Yeah, so now because I don't have the brackets, I've got to drive down to Penrith. I was like, I don't want to take the shortcut and try and bolt in my fence, concrete in the fence post when I don't have the panel attached, because if I'm off in a little bit I won't be able to get the panel in. The way I'm building this fence is post panel, post panel, post panel, and so the panel's attached to the posts when I'm concreting them in. That keeps them steady and plumb. I kind of need the brackets. Just come out of Bunnings, 15 sets. This is definitely not the cheapest way to do a fence. I bought all of them, 15 packs will do 10 panels for me. I know I've got more panels to do than that, but at least that'll get me down the yard, and I've got them. Check their clearance bin as well. Same Ryobi biscuit cutter blade on clearance for $20. I got it for $8 up at Katoomba. So I know it's cheap and nasty, but there was like a little 4-way drill chuck key. This little thing. And I grabbed that because I don't have a chuck key for my drill press. So hopefully that'll fit. I don't know what size the chuck is. This has taken longer than I wanted this morning. I'll be back at the house around midday. So 2 more panels in. The ground drops a lot here, and you can see I've got my concrete down in there and here, and the ground drops off a fair bit on the other side, so I've made a form with a plastic pot. You'll be able to just see pink there. And you can see it down on this one. So there's more of a pillar of concrete when it's all set. Dug down into the ground. I had to extend the posts a bit with some angle iron screwed into the bottoms. So instead of just a 5 drop, we got one. So it's dropped an extra 3 rows to come down here. And if I tried to do it any higher, this wouldn't have gone in. The next one's going to be down lower again, but then it might level out. The other thing we want to try and figure out is whether I can use these to make some stairs here because of how steep it is. And I think I might be able to use these, or we've got ones that have one extra tread. Put a little retaining wall at the top to bolt that to, and add some stairs. Maybe just a little timber landing here for that to be started on. Wednesday morning, and yesterday I took the year 12 on a excursion. I can't remember if I've said this yet, so sorry. I'll see it in the edit. They were involved in a community project building picnic tables last year, and there was a lot of messing around. They sent the wrong treated pine to the school. They sent stuff that you couldn't use in schools, so they had to come back and take that away and bring back other stuff. And then collection times, like where they were going to come and pick them up, kept being negotiated, and then the unveiling dates kept sort of being dragged out. We finally got an unveiling date, and that was yesterday. It was to invite the students along who had built them, for them to see the plaque, because every student who was involved in building a table in every school had their names put onto a brass plaque. Now, there was 2 different venues that I saw that these were going to be at, but I had no idea where they were. Our one was out in the middle of nowhere at Badgerys Creek. I thought it was something to do with the airport. We exited off through a construction gate entrance. We could see the airport terminal in the distance where we were driving, and where we went to was the site office for the civil works construction site. This was the company that was contracted to build the groundworks for the brand new motorway link going to the airport and the brand new rail link going to the airport. Kids got site inducted and they told them about it. It was a pretty dry experience for them, but it turned out all the picnic tables were for all of the construction workers. There was, at the site office, there was a cantina type thing set up with decking and everything, and all these kids' picnic tables were all along this deck and under this giant awning and everything. So it was actually stuff built for the people building the infrastructure for the airport. Their part of the work was scheduled to be done by January 2025. They said the rail interchange was going to be St Mary's Station, so nice and close to Western Sydney areas. But the kids got photos with the tables for the company's propaganda, advertising, and it was only like a short excursion. The kids were all given a sausage sizzle. 6 of my kids came along out of the 9 who made the table, and we got back to school at lunchtime. Even if the excursion wasn't that exciting, I think the fact that they were involved in that was pretty important. Today I have a handover meeting with the deputy for next term. Next week I'm actually taking over. Year 12 have a week and a half of school left, and they'll have a traditional staff, the year 12 touch footy game or something like that. Their graduation is Thursday of next week. I pretty much just had the last lesson with year 12 construction. There was a little bit of dismantling work. There's still some to do, but one group got theirs down. And there was some final piecing on written clusters to make sure that they got completed to be able to be signed off, because there was just little bits missing. On Monday they're doing practice for their graduation. Tuesday and Wednesday are technically their last classes, so I would have them on Tuesday, except I'm acting DP on Tuesday, so I have to see what I do with them. So up on the roof, and here's my little fire system. My old soaker hose has just deteriorated to the point where it's barely on here, so I've got some new ones, and I'm gonna set them up on here, and we've got more, so I might make them go across that side as well. We'll see. Yeah, that's working. I'm getting wet. Let's go check out the back. See those, I do have this turned up pretty high. There's the spray out the back. And those two little extra sections are enough to sort of just spray around. I probably don't have to turn this up that high. This will help, definitely help with ember attack. Yeah, I think this is definitely good. It's going to soak the front yard, that's for sure.